The other ways of building a business online are establishing a presence. And establishing an online presence, typically the way that people recommend that to you is by doing a website. The problem with your websites is that the websites that the companies provide to you are a website that everyone has the same information on. And also those websites don't exist. Those websites are created when a person puts in your URL and it then goes to that company's website server. All the pieces of that website are assembled and put underneath your name as your URL. What does that mean to you? That means, number one, the website doesn't exist for the search engines to go and index and spider. That's what we call it when the search engines go out and look for information on the internet. They send their robots out and the robots spider the internet. So your website really doesn't exist for the search engines to spider. The other problem that you have is it's all duplicate information. And the website search engines out there, and I'm only going to talk about three, which is Google, Yahoo, and Bing. And Yahoo and Bing are really just one now. And of course Google is the big boy out there. Those are the only ones that matter because that's what 98% of the people are using. And the hundreds of smaller website search engines out there, lots of times are pulling their content, their SEO content, from the big boys. So, you know, what matters to us is where we end up on Google, Yahoo, and Bing. And I can give you some techniques on that. And I think this is going to make a lot of sense to you. But those search engines use what they call algorithms to determine how valuable the information is that it runs across on the internet, how widely that information is being referenced or backlinked, how many other websites out there or videos or blogs have a link to the information that it's looking at. And this elevates the value of the information and helps determine what page of results it comes out on. When you have duplicate information, the search engines typically ignore it, or even worse, they can blacklist it. And one thing you don't want is you don't want your information to be blacklisted or your website to be blacklisted by the search engines, by Google or Yahoo, Bing. Because then they purposely take the results out and it never comes up. So I think you can see that your company provided websites are essentially useless for you other than to send people to with your own links. If you have a custom website, that can be worthwhile. Your problem then is getting your website noticed by the internet search engines. And there's a huge amount of competition on that. And also your problem is how are you going to build the website to have the right keywords and long tail keywords in there and the information that's going to attract attention and come up with the search engines. And it's more of an art than anything else. And unfortunately the search engines are constantly changing their requirements to place high in the search engines, and you're shooting at a moving target. So as you can see, this is actually a very complicated area to talk about, and that's one reason why your search engine optimization companies out there charge big bucks to the companies to get their information placed highly. Let's spend a quick moment and talk about that. How highly does your information need to place in the search results to be valuable? Basically, if you're not on page 1, you've lost the game, because very, very few of the people who type in a search will go past page 1. You can always pay to be one of the sponsored results on page 1 using Google AdWords or one of the other pay-per-click, what we call PPC, pay-per-click advertising. But for the good words, you're paying $1 to $3 per click. So it can be expensive to do an advertising campaign based on pay-per-click. They also call it cash per click, CPC. So we can always do PPC, pay-per-click, or cash per click, CPC, but you're talking big bucks. So that's not a solution for most people who are doing network marketing unless you got a pile of money and you don't mind sharing it with the search engine companies. So we talked a little bit about websites and the challenges with websites. The other thing you'll hear about is go out and do some blogging. And yeah, you can go do the blogs. Blogs are free to put up. You know, get yourself an account with Google and start posting on Blogspot, or go get yourself a WordPress account and start doing your blogs. The problem with blogs is, number one, content. You have to figure out the proper content to put in the blogs, and then you also need to have the right keywords and the right long tail keywords, the phrases. Now, a long tail keyword, let me give you an example of that. A keyword might be weight loss. That would be a keyword. A long tail keyword would be good weight loss coffee or weight loss coffee in Miami. That's a search phrase, and that's what they call a long tail keyword. And what most people find when they're doing a blog or a website is, if they go back and they look at the analytics of it and they look at their search engine hits, it will say what words or phrases were hit by the search engine that returned a result for your website. And I'm talking about its results where you can actually look and see how many people hit your website and that they came from Google or Yahoo, and that this was the search word that sent them to your website. And what you're going to find is that the vast majority of the time it was long tail keywords that did the job and ended up with them going to your website. So that's a very important concept, and that's one that is a lot easier for you to achieve success with than working with the keywords, because a keyword like weight loss or even weight loss coffee is going to generate millions of hits, and the possibility of you being in the first 20 pages of results is very, very low, unless you've developed a big internet presence and you've got a lot of backlinks that really elevate your position with that keyword. So you've got to know what you're doing on the blogging, and you've got to get your blogs noticed by the internet search engines out there, by Google, Bing, Yahoo. If you don't get it noticed and indexed, even if you've got great content, great keywords, and great long tail keywords, you get nothing. Most people find when they blog their hearts out that they're lucky if within 6 to 12 months they come up in the first 5 pages of results. It's a real serious problem. So there are ways that you can help elevate that blog, but those ways are not easy either.